Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I see age one's wisdom. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me? I see Moji. Good morning, Mark. Can you hear me? Okay, sir. Thank you. All right. Let's just get right to it immediately. All right. Thank you, Mark. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, good morning, traders. And if you are just joining us for the very first time, too, good morning to you. And it is great to have you here. It's another brand new trading week, and I hope we're doing very well today. Again, this is our morning market review, and like you already know, except you're just joining, this session holds every day, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. Of course, we wait a few minutes after 8 a.m. so that we can be on the same page and allow those who may have connectivity issues to get it sorted. All right. And here we get to meet with our analysts on a daily basis. And like I usually say, it is also with the hope that when you listen long enough, you're also able to come up with your own profitable strategies that would give you an edge over the markets. On this forum every day, you get to look at what's going on in the markets in terms of fundamentals and technicals. And also with the hope that when we do that, we'll be able to pick one or two entries if the opportunity presents itself and trade ideas as well for today and even for the rest of the week. Okay, all right. Without further ado, let's get right to it. Usually, I like to start with the major that is appears with USD as one of the currencies, and from there, start examining other pairs. Uh, of course, we're watching for trade opportunities and the assets we can also have on our watch list would be examining them. All right, before that, very quickly, I'm going to head over to forexfactory.com, the preferred economic calendar. We also need to see the important news that may impact the movement for today. All right, so I'm going to head over to forexfactory.com right away. I have our Forex Factory displayed now, and I believe we can see my screen. Okay, so today, Tuesday, the 29th day of October. What do we have? We have this for 2 p.m., this for 3 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8:30 p.m. as well. Of course, this is brown, which signifies medium impact, and then we have all the other ones as red, high impact nails. Okay, so that's why they are of interest. So the first one here, S&P, that's Standard and Poor's CS Composite 20 HPI. It's simply the house price index for it's used to measure how fast the selling price of family homes are changing in 20, say 20 areas. Of course, it's important because we can gauge the housing industry's health. That is, rising houses would, uh, uh, of course, attract industry activity. So for actual greater than dollar at 2 p.m. For previous as 5.9%, focus 4.6%. Okay, sorry about that. I lost my network for a second and then it's back up now. It's quite crappy. Uh, can we hear me? I see Moji, it's back up now. Can you confirm that, please? The screen is back up and then is the audio okay as well? Hello, can we confirm it's good now? Sorry about that. I lost my network for a second. Can we confirm it's good now? You can hear me and you can see my screen. All right, thank you. I see Chinedu Osaji. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Emmanuel Mills. Okay, so I was talking about the 2 p.m. news. So let's move. All right, thank you very much. Let's move a little bit faster. 3 p.m. We also have this for the dollar as well. consumer confidence, also have consumer confidence. And for this news now, it's a survey about for about 3,000 households, and usually they ask respondents to rate the relative level of current and future economic conditions, business conditions as well, and overall economic situation. And with this information, they can understand consumer spending, and then which is also good to understand the overall economic activity. And then 3 p.m. as well, also have job openings, simply the number of job openings. And then 7 p.m., we're going to have a speech by the Swiss National Bank chairman. And then 8:30 p.m. as well, we're going to have a speech as well, Bank of Canada governor. Okay. Okay, of course, these are speeches. That's why you won't see data here. You can't measure it. Okay, we need to listen to what they're saying and to understand their tone in terms of whether it is dovish or hawkish, to understand policies and direction. Okay, that would be all for fundamentals. Now let's see what this means for technicals. Let's see what this means for technicals. So I'm going to have MT4. Okay. This is what my MT4 looks like currently. On this forum for some time now, I showed us how the DXY for me was beginning to look more constructive at that time. Like if you check the chart, I mentioned from here that this is the first time we got a higher high at this level here since the beginning of April, or sometime in April, since this downtrend started. Of course, giving us series of higher, lower highs and lower lows up until this level here. And again, I also remember pointing to us. How this 100.5 level was quite significant as at the time it was playing out. I showed us how when price closed below 100.5 here, it couldn't sustain it. We didn't see a follow through. We didn't get a follow through on that. So price closed back above that level at 100.5, and then we treated the whole of this as a fake out. Fast forward to this level here, towards the end of 2023, price came back to this level, and then we got the same pattern, same reaction. Here again, we got that, and then price pushed up a little bit, but didn't have enough momentum to sustain that move. So eventually, it closed above 100.5 again at this level, couldn't sustain it, and then we got it closed back above. So again, the whole of this place as a fake out, similar to what we got here, middle of 2023, right here. All right. So because of this similar pattern, of course, this is technical, so I knew that the US dollar index was going to become bullish. Now, I'd like to start from here so that when we understand the strength or weakness of the dollar index, we can easily use this to, we can relate this to other major pairs to understand what's happening with them. For example, the euro dollar is the inverse of the dollar index, so we can see how that relationship there. Okay, and then we're seeing this rally, this aggressive bullish move from the dollar, and then of course you would expect Euro USD, Pound USD as well to be bearish. And then there have also been some very interesting fundamentals around the US that is also responsible that is also supporting this fantastic rally that we now see on the chart. So if you look at fundamental, favorable. If you look at the technical setup, so also very much favorable. Now, currently, the US, the index, this asset now is now stuck in this range between 104 here to 104.5. How do I mean? If you look back, I'm going to highlight those levels now. Here, the 104 level, right here as well, the 104 level. If you continue to look back, you will get more points to further confirm why that level is quite important. It's quite significant, even here. Okay, now if you look at 104.5 as well, you would see that's where price started changing direction in spite of this aggressive move. It couldn't go above that 104.5, meaning that it's also quite significant. And then we see this sideways movement for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days now. Price is on this same spot. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? Now, you could argue that we got this bearish engulfing candle back here. And then, of course, that's a bearish reversal pattern, but it cannot also ignore this bullish move right here. Now, after the bearish pattern here, we got this bullish candle, which further confirms that the upside is still very much intact. The same thing at this level, we also got a bearish engulfing candle, but again, we're seeing a bullish candle right there as well. If we had gotten another, after the bearish engulfing candle here, if we had gotten another bearish candle, then I would say maybe we'll get a much more significant pullback from the dollar index, but that's not happening. We saw a further move to the upside. We got a bearish engulfing candle again, but if you also notice here, after this bearish engulfing candle, what we see next is also a bullish candle, again further confirming that the up side movement is still very much intact. Okay, however, having said that, what we now need to see for the bullish move to continue, for this bullish move to continue, would now be a close above that resistance. Would now be a close above that resistance. Currently, like I said, it is stuck between this 104 support and so it will require close above this resistance at 104.5 to confirm the bullish continuation. Maybe when you get that bullish continuation towards levels like 105 and maybe 106 eventually. But again, what would further confirm that would be a close above the resistance so we can get further push to the upside. However, if eventually what we see is a close back below this support level at 104, then we may see further push to the downside for the dollar index. Okay, so now that we understand and we have an expectation for the dollar index, we can now relate this to the other major pairs that we have. Okay, so we start with the euro dollar. So we start with the euro dollar. All right. So like I said, the euro dollar is, of course, the inverse of the DXY that we just looked at. And you could see that this is kicking off the new week with a bullish candle. If you check the weekly time frame, you see it's bullish right there. This is weekly time frame, and this is the current candle we have. And like I said, it's kicking off this new week with a bullish candle. Now, this is expected, especially if you also look at where it closed last week. Now, I've also pointed this out quite a number of times on this forum. because this trend line here, this trend line that I have here, right, this trend line here, if you check, dates back to as far as October 2023. It has been supporting price. See it right here. Here as well. This level as well. And then currently, this level as well. Okay, so this bullish move that we see now is not surprising. It's not surprising. I pointed this out last week that we may expect this price to come to this level, and now that it is there, okay, we're now seeing this bullish move. So how do I approach this now? If you already have a buy trade here from this trend line, if you already have a buy trade, of course, it is fantastic because that would have been the most ideal entry point around this trend line area. Now, what do I need to see here? Don't forget, when we looked at the dollar index, we saw that it's stuck in a range, like I pointed out, between 104 and 104.5. And we can also see how that is impacting the euro dollar as well. So for the euro dollar, for me, number one, we may see further push to the upside. We may see further push to the upside here, probably to levels like 1.084. And then if we get a close above this resistance here, then we may see a move towards 1.09 price level. Now, this is the daily time frame. I like to start from the daily time frame to understand the overall direction, and then we can tune down to a much lower one, say 15 minutes, 30 minutes for entry opportunities. For entry opportunities. All right. So on the daily time frame, again, the euro dollar too, which is the inverse of the DXY, is also stuck between this range as well. So it will take a close above this resistance to see further push to the upside towards levels like 1.09. But if eventually what we get is a close below this trend line, is a close below this trend line, and especially below the support here at 1.076, then the bearish move will definitely continue, and that will be towards level like 1.065. You see, okay, so that's the expectation that I have for the euro dollar. That's the expectation that I have for the euro dollar. Now let's see 15 minutes to see what we have on 15 minutes time frame. Now, don't forget, this is the conclusion on daily. This is the conclusion on daily. Let me quickly highlight that before we go back to 15 minutes. This is the conclusion on daily. On the daily time frame, we have a sideways movement for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 days now. Price is stuck between this range. Now, eventually, if the bearish move would continue, then like I said, we need to see a close below this trend line or below the support level at 1.076. Or if we get a further push to the upside, then I'll be looking at this level to short euro dollar. Again, if we get it close above this level, then the next level that I'll be looking at will be 1.09. Okay, so having said that, now let's take that to 15 minutes. Okay, so on the 15 minutes time frame, this here is the 50 period moving average, is the 50 period moving average, and then prices are around that level. Okay. Okay, so if you also look at this level here, we have support. This is 15 minutes now. We have support right there. And then we have resistance right here as well. Okay, so what to do here? Number one, on the 15 minutes time frame, if we get a close above this resistance level here on 15 minutes, that would be a trigger to buy and then target higher levels. Or on the other hand, if what we see is a close below this support level here on 15 minutes time frame, then that would be more confirmation that the bearish move still wants to continue. All right, so that's it for the euro dollar. That's it for the euro dollar. Moving on to pound USD now. Moving on to pound USD. Of course, very similar to euro USD. Similar to euro USD. And then you can see how it has respected this trend line as well. Here as resistance, here as support, here as resistance, back here as resistance, here as support as well. And then we have multiple attempts, just like we saw for euro dollar. We also have multiple attempts here as support. And at the current level here, it's sitting right on the support level. Okay, so what does this mean again for the pound USD? Don't forget, this is also the daily time frame to understand the overall direction, and then we can tune down to a much lower one for entry opportunities. Okay, so again, we also have sideways movement here as well. For the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, similar to what we saw for euro dollar, price is also stuck in between this range. Okay, now for me, the resistance will be here at 1.3. This is the daily time frame, don't forget. And then the support will be 1.29. Okay, so if we see a close above the resistance, then we can expect further push to the upside to levels like 1.30 and maybe 1.3140. If, on the other hand, what we get is a close below this support at 1.29, then we can expect price to continue to push to the downside towards levels like 1.282 and maybe 1.27. Okay, now that's the daily time frame. I'm going to head over to 15 minutes now to see what we have. Okay, now don't forget, even for the pound USD, it's bearish. We have that bearish move. Now, of course, we've had a significant rally up to this level, and then eventually we got a close below this previous higher low. We got a close below that, which means that this current structure is beginning to look bearish. This is the first lower low we're also seeing below this previous higher low. So it is bearish currently. All right, so on 15 minutes, what does that mean? So if it's bearish, what it means is that we're looking for opportunities to sell. Again, this is the 50 period moving average, and then price is currently touching the 50 period moving average, and on the 15 minutes time frame, we're seeing a bearish candle. So to buy or sell would now mean that, number one, I have this support here, and then I have this resistance here. You notice this is very similar to what we saw on Euro USD. All right. So for me, at the end of this 15 minutes, if this closes bearish, then we may see a push to back to this support level here on 15 minutes time frame. And then eventually, if we see a close below the support, then we can expect further push to the downside for the pound USD. If, on the other hand, what we see is a close above the resistance here, we said if we see a close above that resistance, then we may see further push to the upside before the bearish continuation. Okay, that's for pounds USD. And I hope we catch that. Moving on to NZD-USD. This too has had a fantastic run from this high, closing below significant levels. If you look at the level here, again, very much significant. Now, this is NZD-USD now. NZD-USD. Why is it significant? Again, the way to test that is to check if that level has influenced price before in the past. So you just simply look back a little bit. Here was resistance, back here was resistance, back here was resistance. Okay, further strengthening this level. So when we got that close below that level, and then we also have a trend line right here. We also have a trend line right here. You see it? So price closing below this level here was the signal to go bearish. Closing below this level, you see, was the signal to go bearish. Again, it has closed below this trend line with this red candle here, the bearish candle here, and then also closed below this level, this significant level at 0.62. So that's the convincing factor that this was going to become even more bearish. And then we saw a follow through right there. Okay, so currently, what does this mean? What does this mean? Again, it means that we're looking for opportunities to sell, opportunities to sell. Of course, it's not immune to pullbacks. So we can also expect price to come back to this previous level, the most recent level that was broken. Again, why is it important? It's important because you have levels like this, you have reactions like this at that same level. You see, even here we have this, we had the same or got the same reaction. So currently, price recently broke below that level significantly. So number one, we may get a pullback to retest this level as resistance, or we just continue to see a follow through towards level like 0.587, this support level here. Okay, now this is daily time frame. Now we can go to 15 minutes to see what it looks like. All right, again on 15 minutes, we have the support, we have this resistance. So this boils down to whether we get a further push to this resistance and then we take sell from there, or we get a close below this support level and then we go short from that level. NZD USD. Again, we started from the daily time frame to understand the overall direction, and then we're on the 15 minutes time frame now to look for entry opportunities. And for me, on NZD USD 15 minutes time frame, what would be the entry trigger would be number one, we get a push back to this level, we get a push back to this resistance level, and then I take sell opportunities from here. Of course, with further confirmation, we will need a bearish pattern at this level to confirm that. Or if, on the other hand, what we see is a close below this support here, that would also be the entry trigger. And currently, this is again the 50-period moving average, and price is below it, which further signifies weakness. It further signifies weakness. All right. Okay, Manuel Mills, US 100. We'll get there in a minute. Okay, I still have one, two, three, about four to look at. Let me quickly go to US 100 or US 30 first, US 30 first, because we have it's US 30 is looking more defined than US 100. Okay, so we also touched on this last Tuesday, back when I was here. That was 22nd. You say that was 22nd. And then I was highlighting to us how price closing below this trend line at that time was quite significant. You could see how, sorry, okay, you could see how this level, and I really hope we caught this trade. I really hope we traded this when we analyzed it the last time I was here. It presented a fantastic opportunity. I highlighted this level for us, how this trend line has supported price over time. You said, even here as support. I did this last week. If you remember, if you were here, I did this as well. And then eventually we got this significant close. You see it? We got this significant close below that level. And then that 22nd around this area, that 22nd around this area, I was pointing out to us that because of the close of this aggressive bearish move that we see below the trend line, would create a fantastic bearish opportunity. And interestingly, played out as expected. We got a further push to the downside. We got a fantastic retest of that significant level. And then we saw a fantastic follow through. Okay, so if we traded this, of course, pretty much significant right there. All right. So what does this mean currently? What does this mean currently? Of course, that happened already. And then we got this low, lower high, low again, lower high. We got lower, low again, and then currently lower high. All right. Even much more fantastic. You see, this is why I said the US 30 counterpart is a little bit more defined in terms of following a structure, this structure is playing out on the 4 hours time frame. Okay, so let me take out all of these trend lines so they don't end up confusing us. Okay, so right now, price is back at this significant level. That's 42,640 level. And then we're seeing this move here. This is the 50-period moving average, and currently price is below it, which signifies weakness. Okay, so on 15 minutes time frame, what do we have? Okay, so on 15 minutes time frame, we see this bearish engulfing candle right here, close to a resistance, All right. So for this to be further confirmed, we now need this next 15-minute candle to also close bearish below this previous candle. I hope we understand that. Currently, what we see here is a bearish engulfing candle close to a resistance area back here at 42,640. So what I say, or what I am telling us now, is that we now need to see a follow-through candle. That is, we need this next candle after this bearish engulfing candle to also close bearish, and then that will be a trigger or our trigger to sell. Or if on the other hand, we get a push back to this resistance, at that resistance, we now wait for a confirmation candle. Maybe if we get a bearish engulfing candle again, then that will be the trigger to sell back at this level. So don't forget, this is 15 minutes. At the end of this current 15 minutes, if we get a follow-through candle, if we get another bearish candle, then we can expect price to push to the downside towards level like this. And then if we get it close, we'd expect for that push to the downside. All right. So that's for US 30. And I hope you understand that, Sir Emmanuel Mills. Okay, I see gold, one of my favorites. And then okay, we have quite a number of people interested in US 100. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. And for US 100 too, we start on the daily time frame. $2,000. Okay. I guess that fellow like big thing. Okay, so this is US 100, and then what do we have? Okay, you're confirming it that you like big things. Okay, so for US 100 now, we see this. We see higher low. Again, this is daily. We need to understand the overall direction first. And then we see higher high. We see a shallow pullback here, back to this resistance level here. Right. So this came back to retest it as support. And then we got a new high. We got a new high. And then we got a retracement as well. Again, as support. All right. So what we expect is that this gives us, creates a new high. Expect this to create a new high, because if we look at the structure, we see higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, up to this level. So let me take out the trend lines so they don't confuse us. Okay. So now, no doubt we have an uptrend right here, and then we also have a we also have this resistance here currently impacting price. Okay, and then we see this sideways movement. This is daily time frame. We have this range here, support and resistance. Okay, so let's get to 15 minutes to see what it looks like on 15 minutes time frame. Okay, so on 15 minutes, we have this level here as support. Again, this is 50 period moving average, and price is currently trading above the 50 period moving average, which is which also signifies strength. Also signifies strength on the 15 minutes time frame. All right, so at this level now, two things. Number one, you see this resistance here. You see this resistance here, here as resistance, resistance right there. Even here as resistance, here as support, here as resistance, you see it? So that's how I confirm that this level is significant. Okay, so what does that mean? Number one, we get it close above that resistance. Because we currently have an uptrend, we're not interested in buying because price is close to a resistance, except you're an aggressive trader. That that would be the only reason you buy at this current level. Price is close to a resistance, and at resistance, we don't buy. So what we expect to happen here is price close above the resistance so that this resistance can become support for price. And then you can expect price to push higher from that level. However, if eventually what we get is a reversal pattern at this level, then price may pull back before we now see that bullish continuation. What would invalidate this for me would be if eventually we get a close below this support, then we can expect price to push lower, even if the bullish move would continue. This would be my expectation for the US 100. This would be my expectation for the US 100. All right. So let's quickly touch on gold because of our time. Okay, for gold now, this is 4 hours time frame. This is 4 hours time frame. Why am I here? It's because, again, if you look at what happened last week, I drew this trend line for us. Last week from this level here. From this level here as support. Another attempt here, there as support. And then eventually we saw this retest of that trend line here as support as well. When we drew this trend line last week, price was around this area. Towards that resistance, okay? And eventually price came back to the trend line, tested it as support, and then we see bullish move right there. We see high, we see higher low, we see higher high, we see higher low, and then now we're seeing a higher high. Now, at this higher high, this current level, price is also at resistance. This level, current level now, price is also at resistance. So what we may get here is a pullback. We get some decent pullback from that level, especially if this now closes bearish at this current level. If it closes bearish, then we may see further push to the downside before the bullish move continues. Okay, before the bullish continues. Now, this is H4. Let's see what it looks like on 15 minutes. Let's see what it looks like on 15 minutes. Don't forget, we're still looking at this trend line, which is still very much significant. So 15 minutes time frame, what do we have? Okay. Do we have the trend line here? Fantastic. Okay, so we see this. Back here at the same resistance. Back here at the same resistance. All right, so we have triple top right there. Okay, so what this means is that we need to get a close below this support to expect further push to the downside, and then this 50 period moving average will be an area of interest. However, if eventually we get a close above this trend line, then we would expect price to continue to push higher from that level. So this is gold on 15 minutes time frame. Again, we started on daily to understand the direction, what is happening. And then we're now back on the 15 minutes time frame to look for entry opportunities. And fortunately, we saw this trend line here, which also gave us a triple top pattern. Now, of course, triple top in itself, it's a bearish reversal pattern, So what would further confirm this is, number one, we get it close below this level here. We get it close below this level on this 15 minutes time frame, then we can expect price to push lower towards this 50 period moving average. Or if on the other hand, we get it close back above this trend line here, then we can expect price to push higher from that level. All right, so that's for gold. USD JPY, I see USD CAD as well. Of course, they are bullish. They are bullish. The US dollar index is bullish, so you can expect USD JPY and USD CAD to be bullish. Okay, so how do you take advantage of this bullish move? That would be the next question. For USD JPY on the daily time frame, this would mean number one, a pullback to 152 level or 151 level, and then you take your buy from that point. Or at the current level, we continue to see a push to the upside towards levels like 155. And then if we get it close above that level, we can continue to expect price to push higher. This is daily. Let's go to 15 minutes to see what we have. Okay, again on 15 minutes, we see this. This is 50 period moving average. Currently, price is above it, which signifies strength. Okay, and then we can identify this resistance. We also have this support level. We also have this support level here, and then I see trend line here as well. Okay, so what does this mean for USD JPY? Number one, if we get a bearish pattern right here from this current level, close to a resistance, and then we also get a follow-through candle. We also get another bearish candle for more confirmation. Then you can expect USD JPY to pull back, to further pull back towards this support level and maybe back at this trend line before we see any bullish move from that point. However, if what we get is a close above this resistance, then that would be a bullish continuation, and then we can continue to go long. USD CAD again very similar. You see, also have this bullish move for USD CAD, very similar as well. Okay, so I hope we understand the few assets we've been able to touch on. We have less than a minute to go. If you have one or two that you quickly want me to recap before we call it a day. Oil would be a completely new asset, would be a completely new asset. Pounds JPY2 will be a completely new one. I said, if we have one or two from the ones we have highlighted so far, please point them out. Oil, this is daily time frame. Looking at this trend line here. Price is below it. This is the 50 period moving average too. Price is below it. This, of course, signifies weakness. This signifies weakness. So we may see a move back to the trend line. We're testing it at resistance, and then we see further push to the downside, maybe back at the support level. But if, on the other hand, we get it close back above this resistance, then we can expect further push to the upside for oil. This is daily time frame. We looked at US 100 earlier. We looked at US 100 earlier, and I hope you got that. This is AY in USD cards. Because of the W or M shape formed, it will go down. Okay. Well, that's not wrong. That's not wrong. Now, that going down would, of course, be a pullback for this move. It is not out of place to expect a pullback to happen because we have seen this aggressive move to the upside. Of course, I also expect a pullback to happen so that I can continue to buy. Since this rally started, we haven't really seen a significant pullback. This is very shallow. This right here too is very shallow. So, of course, it's very much due for a pullback, and that may also mean the beginning of the bearish move that you expect. That's for AY on USD CAD. All right. Okay. So this is a good place to leave it for today. This is a good place to draw the curtain. We have been able to look at quite a number of assets that we can add to our watch list, get trade ideas for today from the ones we've been able to touch so far, looking at the levels that we highlighted in 15 minutes. Once they play out, of course, they will present fantastic trade opportunities. All right. So this is where we draw the curtain for today. Euro AUD is, of course, I've highlighted this for a while, and then eventually it's playing out fantastically, brilliantly. On H4 time frame, I showed us this inverse head and shoulder pattern, and then I highlighted how this is the neckline for that pattern. In itself, this chart pattern, inverse head and shoulder, is a bullish pattern, is a bullish pattern. And then I showed us how the break of the neckline here would be further confirmation for me. And then when I got that here, got a retest, it was a fantastic move. It was a fantastic move, playing out brilliantly. Playing out brilliantly. All right. So thank you very much. I just quickly had to do that for Ojo Victor, and I hope you got that. All right. Thank you very much for joining us today. Tomorrow would be another fantastic trading day. Join us the same time from 8 to 9. We'll also be looking at more assets that we can continue to take advantage of in the financial market. Thank you very much for joining. I wish us a great trading day.